Hi everyone, Dr. Luke Peterson here, physical therapist with the Knee Replacement Therapists. You are watching the Need to Know show. For today's video, we're going to talk about compression therapy and the use of compression after knee replacement surgery. We'll talk about some of the common ways to do this, why compression is used, and answer some commonly asked questions. So the purpose of compression treatment after having surgery, particularly a knee replacement surgery, is mainly to manage swelling. So after surgery, there's an increase of blood flow, there's an increase of fluid to the knee joint and the lower leg and the calf and the foot and that whole general area. And you may have this be referred to as edema. But basically just lots of swelling, lots of inflammation and fluid in that area. And we want to be able to control this and manage this effectively for a variety of reasons, but mainly for comfort and pain relief, as well as maximizing your ability to move the knee and move the leg and ability to have good mobility and movement in general with your body. So, of course, we know about there's icing as one of the main ways to manage the swelling, but then there's also this compression. And you think about it, the concept of how it works is pretty simple. If you compress the knee joint and the area around the knee joint, then there's less room available for fluid and blood flow to infiltrate and fill up that area. And instead, it's going to increase blood flow and increase the movement of the venous return of blood and fluids back to the heart and through the body's systems. So relatively straightforward concept of how it does that. And of course, another thing when it comes to managing swelling is we're also managing the risk of blood clots after surgery. So after surgery, with the swelling, with being less mobile initially, being in bed a lot, resting a lot, there is that risk for the pooling of blood, which can lead to blood clots, lead to what's called a deep vein thrombosis, a blood clot in your calf, in your lower leg. And we definitely want to avoid this because it can lead to all sorts of problems. And so one way among many is the use of compression. So right in the hospital after your surgery, if you're in a typical hospital or an ambulatory outpatient facility, they have the intermittent compression. And these are basically these wraps that are put around your leg and they're connected to some tubing basically. And just like it sounds, it's on and off compression. So it will be a period of compressing the lower legs, compressing the calves on both sides, and then relaxing that pressure off, and then compressing and then off, compressing and then off. Almost always you're going to have that in the hospital, at least for a brief period of time after your surgery. Then you want to talk about different compression garments. So there's all sorts of different compression garments out there, some that are over the counter, some that you can order through like athletic companies and apparel companies. There's ones that are prescribed by your doctor that are more medically based. There's all sorts of things. Some of the common ones you have are the TED hose. So TED hose, TED, that stands for thromboembolic deterrent. So trying to prevent a thrombosis or a blood clot, in other words. These are very common for people who are very low level mobility, aren't able to move around a lot, possibly more of your geriatric population or just someone who is in a population where you have little mobility. The compression is relatively low. It's less than 20 millimeters per mercury, which is just a fancy way of how we measure pressure of anything. Then you also have more traditional like compression stockings. So these, of course, have all different types, different companies, different brands, different styles, and different how high they go, where they fit on your body. And these can really range in very different ranges of compression that they apply. upwards of 40 millimeters of mercury, even for very intense cases up to 60 millimeters of mercury. If you get the ones that are kind of the medical grade or the medical brand, you really want a physician's order or a physician's prescription to get them, as they do have some risks with them, and you want to make sure that you're using them appropriately. Typically, after knee replacement surgery with these compression garments and wearing compression, it tends to be something that is in the acute phase. So typically within the first 2 to maybe 3 weeks after surgery is when you might have them. A lot of it comes down to your surgeon's recommendation, your surgeon's preferences. For example, if you're someone who is relatively young, relatively healthy, able to get up and moving and walking pretty quickly after surgery, then you might not be prescribed to wear compression garments, and the doctor or the surgeon might not see the need for that. If you're someone who's a little less mobile, someone who might have a past medical history of cardiovascular problems, of arterial blood flow or venous blood flow issues in the legs, then they might be more likely to prescribe the compression garments as a preventative way of preventing any complications, any blood clots, anything like that. There's been some different studies about the use of compression after surgery. A lot of studies show there's really no differences between individuals who use the compression and individuals who don't use compression garments. If you're looking at, level of swelling, level of pain, mobility, function, there really hasn't been shown to be very much differences between the two groups. So a lot of it comes down to people who have these underlying risks are going to be probably more likely to have prescribed the use of compression garments after surgery, just to reduce that risk factor. And some other concerns. So there was another study I looked at where it looked at above the knee compression garments and compression garments that are just below the knee and the lower leg on your calf. And they thought that there might be some concern with the lower leg only because that might put some pressure where the elastic band, where the end of the garment is, might put some pressure on your scar, might put some pressure on the knee joint. And additionally, it might lead to, although it might cause compression and reduce swelling in the lower leg and calf, it might actually increase swelling in the knee joint. So there actually was a study on this to see if there was any differences, and they really saw that there wasn't any real differences. These concerns didn't seem to, at least based on this study, be an issue or be a problem. So also when it comes to using compression, probably the most common way, one of the more common ways, is using it in addition to icing. So this is either having a certain kind of ice machine or ice device that provides that compression. It might be having ice and then providing a wrap to provide the compression, or just some kind of do-it-yourself way of maybe wrapping a tight towel around your leg with the ice or whatever it may be. And some of the things with this is it actually can, having the compression with the ice can improve actually the skin contact with the ice, with the cooling agent. It can lead to getting better coldness, so getting to a lower temperature faster and having that coldness last a little bit longer. So that can be beneficial if that's what you're looking for and trying to maintain that coldness to provide that relief, pain relief, or help reduce swelling even a little bit more. The risks, there are a couple risks or a couple precautions with using compression. So the main one is you just want to be careful of the integrity of your skin, the integrity of the area that you're providing compression. Make sure that you are not compressing anything too intensely. So with compression garments and prescription compression garments, of course, that is built into the production and how they make them. Of course, you want to make sure you get the right size for yourself. Check, make sure you can wiggle your toes, make sure you're not getting red, swollen toes and feet or pain, this might be a sign that you're not getting enough blood flow to the lower legs and feet because of the compression. You can also possibly cause some nerve damage in there. Although these are relatively rare occurrences, it is a possibility. So just make sure you're using everything appropriately as your surgeon or doctor recommends. If you're using any type of device or equipment or compression garments, make sure you're reading the instructions that come with it and using them how they are supposed to be used to prevent and lower that risk of any harmful events or adverse things happening from using them. All right, so compression after knee replacement surgery definitely has its benefits. Definitely can help with managing swelling after surgery. It's just one aspect, one thing to add on to kind of your overall management of your knee and your pain and your swelling after surgery. Especially helpful in those first 2 to 3 weeks after surgery. But there's definitely things that you can do as you move on from those first few weeks. For example, if you're someone who is traveling on an airplane, traveling in a car, compression garments can be really helpful to reduce swelling, reduce risk of blood clots in that nature. If you're going on a long trip, if you're doing some active activity, maybe you try picking up jogging or some other activity, some of that compression can help as well for just managing symptoms, managing swelling a little bit more effectively. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, I'd love to hear them. Please leave a comment, leave a message, and let me know what you think. I hope you got something useful out of this, and I'll see you all again tomorrow with some more videos. Take care.